What's up YouTube? Zach Gordon here, and today we're diving deep into something that's becoming crucial for all business owners, the Beneficial Ownership Information Report from FinCEN. If you own an LLC, partnership, corporation, or really any entity registered in the US, you're going to want to listen closely because starting January 1st, 2024, you'll be required to submit this report or risk facing penalties that could reach $500 per day. That can add up really fast. Don't worry, I'm going to walk you through the entire process today by going over it with you. Before we dive in, make sure to bookmark this video and share it with any fellow business owners who might need this info. There's been a lot of talk about these new regulations, and the last thing you want is to get hit with the penalties because you missed the deadline. Why this report matters. Now, you might be wondering why this report is such a big deal. Well, the Corporate Transparency Act was enacted to combat money laundering and other financial crimes. Essentially, the government wants to know who really owns and controls these businesses to prevent illegal activity. This isn't just another paperwork exercise, it's a way to add transparency to the financial system. So what exactly is a BOI report? It's a document where you'll disclose details about your company's beneficial owners, those who own at least 25% or more, or exercise significant control over the business. Even if you think your business is too small to matter, this report applies nearly to every company out there, and that's why it's so important to get it right. Who needs to file? Well, let's go ahead and start with who actually needs to submit this report. If you got an LLC, a partnership, or corporation registered in the US, you'll likely be required to file, but there are few exceptions. Nonprofits and public traded companies are usually exempt. I've got more detailed video explaining these exceptions on the way, so if you're unsure, be sure to check that video out after it comes out, after watching this. If you're still with me, you're probably in the majority who need to file, so let's walk through this process step by step. This is important because not only is it required by law, but failing to comply could impact your ability to obtain business funding and loans, which is something I help business owners with every day. So you don't want your funding opportunities to be derailed by something as simple as this document or report. Okay, let's go into the actual filing process. We're going to want to head over to the website, the BOI filing website at bsaefiling.fincen.gov. You got two options here. You can either download a PDF to fill out and upload, or you can do it entirely online. As you can see here in the window, I have it pulled up here, but we'll be going through the online version right here. So right here is, like I said, the PDF version or the file online. So you want to click on this, agree, and then you're going to want to go, is this the first time you're filling it out? You're going to need to select initial report. For those of you filing for the first time for a company you formed, or if you never filed before, this is the one that you'll choose. After that, you'll enter your legal business ID. One thing that you can do is you can apply for a FinCEN ID. That's it. A unique identifier will save you time in the road, especially if you have multiple businesses. With the FinCEN ID, you won't have to re-enter your beneficial ownership information every time you file. It's a one-time setup that could save you a lot of hassle. This helps if you're running multiple entities, and as a business funding consultant, I often work with clients who are leveraging multiple LLCs and corporations for different income streams. Whether in real estate, e-commerce, consulting, having FinCEN ID can really streamline and save you some time here. This way you spend less time on paperwork and more time on growing your business. So you're going to want to fill out this information, the company information, also your doing business address, you're going to want to fill out your tax identification, the business address. One of the common questions we get is, what if you don't have a physical U.S. address? The rules state that you can't use your registered agent's address. So you'll need to have an address where you can actually receive mail. If you're a foreign owner with without a U.S. address, you'll need to use the best available address, even if it's a business or a virtual office address. Now we'll go to the company applicant section. Let's talk about this. If someone else, like an attorney, legal service, or a consultant like myself, helps you form your business, they'd likely be the company applicant. For example, if you use LegalZoom, they might be listed here. However, if you form the company yourself, this section will typically be blank. I know a lot of people get confused at this point, so let me clarify. The company applicant is essentially the person or service that filed the formation documents for your business. If you did it yourself, you don't need to worry about this part. Next, we want to go over the beneficial owner details. Now, which is arguably the most important part of the report. Beneficial owners are individuals who own 25% or more of the business or have significant control over it. This is where you'll put your legal name, your date of birth, residential address, and identification details. I also get a lot of questions about the different forms of identification you can use. A U.S. driver's license is the most common, but you can also use a passport or even a foreign passport here, if applicable. Yes, and your address could be foreign if you're a foreign owner of an LLC as well, or corporation. After filling out all this information, you're going to want to upload a document, image of this documentation. Using an unclear image could result in delays or even rejections in this form. So you're going to want to make sure that it's done correctly and done with a crisp, clear photo. Once all this ownership information is in, you'll need to certify and submit everything that you entered is accurate. This is a legal requirement, and submitting false information can result in penalties. So make sure everything is correct to the T. Dot your I's. After certification, you can enter your contact information and email address so you can get a confirmation. Very important that you want to have the confirmation in case you need it later for tax purposes or legal issues. It's important to keep these records. And there you have it. So let's take a quick break here to address some common questions I've received from clients about the BOI report. One major question is, what happens if my ownership changes after I've submitted the report? Well, fantastic question. If there's any significant change in ownership, like adding a new partner or selling part of the business, you'll need to update the report. The law requires that you update this information within 30 days of the change, so keep that in mind. Our next most frequent question is, does this apply to foreign entities? If your foreign entity is registered to do business in the U.S., then you'll need to file. But if your entity is only operating abroad, you might be exempt. Again, it's worth consulting with a legal advisor if you're unsure. Well, I hope that concludes everything that you need on the BOIR report, and thank you for tuning in. If you need any help, go ahead and schedule a consultation. It will be pinned in the first comment. The consultation link also in the description of the video. Thank you and have a good day.